that was like, that might have been the best back crack I've had, and it felt really good.
Dude, I fucking need one of those. My back has been so sore lately.
That's fair. Like, this is why it's like, I always feel like I should go see like a chiropractor or something like that to like actually crack my back with how much it hurts sometimes. But I sit there going, just like, that's scary. Like, have you seen the video? Have you seen like videos of like people getting their backs cracked by like chiropractors?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
It looks amazing, but also at the same time, it scares the living piss out of me.
It looks painful, but I think I could deal with it.
I don't know. Have you seen the video where the guy cracks the guy's like butt bone or whatever was it, the pelvis?
No.
It's an intimate experience. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, the guy basically has to reach up into your literal asshole and, like, yes, he reaches into your asshole to crack it.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I feel like if you do that with your chiropractor, you've reached a whole nother level. Like you might as well have just slept with him.
Yeah, me and him, we're tight. In the worst possible way.
In just the worst way. I don't know how many chiropractors will do that, but I don't want to do that.
I mean, hopefully not many.
I would hope not many, but I saw like one video of a guy getting his like pelvis cracked, and literally like the dude shoves like his fist up the guy's anus, and I go, what the fuck? That's it. That's an experience. I would not recommend looking it up. Please, dear God, do not do that.
I'll keep that in mind.
But you know what you should look up? The It Never Ends podcast, which is this. I mean, I guess you would have already looked it up and found it if you're listening to this. So
that's quite the intro.
Well, that's awkward. Anyway, I'm Andrew. Over there is my good buddy Alex. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Hey, you're at the podcast. Thanks for looking up the podcast.
Exactly. Don't you love starting off podcasts talking about it getting your butthole cracked or butthole cracked?
Man, I love talking about getting my butthole pierced or whatever.
Let me just get my ass cracked. Don't worry about it. This stupid opening.
It's the best kind of opening.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
How many podcasts do you know of start off with two guys talking about having somebody else's hand shoved up their ass?
I can't.
Literally zero. That's what makes us special.
I can't say many.
We're good at being fucked. You're welcome for that sentence that I just said.
Note to myself for when I'm editing this, leave in that entire silence that I had right there. Just the silence right there, because
just leave that in.
Just leave it right in, because it added so much to that moment. I also feel like I need to clip that out.
and add that.
I need to put it on I need to make a soundboard on my OBS again and just like play that every time.
Add that one sound clip of the cat looking at the camera and going, huh?
Huh?
Oh.
Exactly. Anyway, so we got more layoffs for video games. Big shocker, right?
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I decided to go to college to be in game development.
Yep.
Yeah, no, only 2 months into the year and almost 4,000 people have lost their jobs.
That is
absolutely insane.
It's like like this time it's PlayStation with what was it, the UK studio, the London studio.
It's impacted all of their studios.
Yeah, I know. The London studio was the one that got like shut down entirely, though.
Their London studio got shut down entirely. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it does affect like multiple teams. Like they said, it also affects like Insomniac, Guerrilla Games, and Naughty Dog, and a bunch of others.
The thing that's crazy to me, it's like, well, Guerrilla Games, I guess, they've put out the one game on the PS5, but like Insomniac have literally been carrying the PlayStation throughout its entire life cycle, pretty much.
Like, its first big exclusive was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and then has like just put out Spider-Man, like Miles Morales now, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and I sit here going like, Jesus Christ.
Like Wolverine is still set to come out next year.
Yeah.
It's like, of all the studios that shouldn't be getting any layoffs, they're the one.
Absolutely.
My gosh, dude.
Honestly, I'm a little
blows.
surprised Naughty Dog got hit, considering that since I thought Naughty Dog was like their first child, basically.
Their love child.
Yeah, it's their first love child.
You guys may have had a big and expensive product that we had to cancel out of nowhere, but hey, we still love you.
We still love you. Don't worry about that. My favorite about the whole like PlayStation one is that literally like they posted, what was it, the London studio posted about how Jim Ryan showed up there or whatever,
and then 5 days later,
it shut down.
Fucking wild, dude. Imagine how stupid those people must have felt afterwards. It's like, we gave this guy a big send off. We were so sad to see him go, and
yeah,
a few days later, we're out of the same company.
Yeah, that I would also just like say fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
it's just fuck you.
Fuck off.
Come on, if you're gonna come and like just check out the studio or whatever, it's just like, I don't know, maybe not lay us off. Do you think that anywhere like Jim Ryan goes now, like they're just gonna say, oh, we're next on the chopping block, guys? Oh God.
I don't know, because basically hasn't every like major PlayStation studio been affected by this?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's stupid. It's like, I get that PlayStation doesn't have a lot like coming out in like the, I don't even know, for the rest of this year even, but like I don't know what they all have planned when it comes to like big first party games or whatever, but like
surely they must have something in the pipeline.
God,
the thing that's thing that's confused me about basically all these layoffs is in every single one they said, oh yeah, we're also canceling a bunch of video games. So it's like you already invested a bunch of time, money, and effort into a bunch of games just to not put them out. I guess so. If they're like in really early development, maybe, but it's like when you have something that was apparently like in the latter stage of development, like the Twisted Metal game, I guess they scrapped. No, we're just doing away with that?
I guess so.
Cool, boss.
Do you think
I have to admit,
do you think they had that game, the Twisted Metal game, like ready for when the like Peacock show happened or whatever, and then they just didn't get out in time, and so they said, well, now the window's closed, so screw it? No,
I think they got into gear after the success of the TV show, actually.
Yeah, that's probably true, actually. Because how old is that show now? Didn't that come out around the time like the Halo show came out or something?
I think it's like 2 years old at this point. But yeah, I think it was a similar time.
Yeah, I think it was right around that time. So, I don't know.
2020. Oh, yeah, literally last year.
Oh, okay, well. Yeah, I just don't even know what to say anymore. It's like we see it all the time, or whatever. Then I saw literally fucking like posted, like this was literally posted an hour ago. Electronic Arts is laying off 5% of its workforce as well,
which is about 670 people.
Yeah, when you do like math wise, it's about that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, and it's like, here's the thing. It's so funny that like. And it's like listening to the EA talk about it. It's like, oh, why we're doing this or whatever. It's like, well, we have plenty of people that are like, we're a company full of like creators and storytellers. We believe in the value of teams and innovating together. Yet you're laying off people. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's the thing. It's like you say you're so dedicated to this medium and that you're going to put out like the best game as possible. Yet at the exact same time, when you do that, all it does is demoralize the remaining staff because the rest of them are just going to be thinking for the longest time, when am I on the chopping block?
Yeah.
That's the most unhealthy thing for any industry. I simply do not understand. And
it's really funny because it's like, I think later this year, EA is planning on putting out the college football like game or whatever, which I cannot believe is still in the works. Like, they must have worked out like a bunch of deals for it to all work out. That's all I have to say, which is surprising to me because when they first announced it, I said this game, there's no way the college football game is happening basically. And it's just like apparently, according to reports, they worked out like just a fuckload of NIL deals, and I was just like, wow, that is incredible. My favorite part about like when that announcement happened as well is that stupid ass Stephen A. Smith on ESPN First Take or whatever talked about, because like the big headline was that the Notre Dame football might not be in the thing because they didn't want. They were like being sticklers about the NIL deal and stuff. Like if you're going to use our logos and players and stuff like that, you need to pay them type thing. Mm-hmm. To which I guess they worked out a deal because that was like in the trailer that they were going to be there. And Stephen A. Smith just goes, "Who the fuck cares about Notre Dame? What have they done?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, dude! You have literally one of the best. You literally have one of the best fan bases in all of college football." It's like it's not just like an all wide, like this. It's nationwide, and they have the best, one of the best traveling, like fan bases. Like everywhere you go, you see a bunch of green and gold or blue and gold or whatever, and you sit here going just like, I don't care that they haven't won anything in recent years. They're still entertaining, and they still, guess what? Every home game is on NBC, baby. As a Notre Dame fan, I just went, fuck you. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, but I was just like, man, he has that plan, and it's probably going to be a major success just because I don't know if you saw the ads for that, but it felt like it was just like, like they literally went to the people, like they went to the ad marketing people that do like the college football playoffs or whatever, and it just like, because it felt like I was watching a college football playoff like commercial or whatever. I don't know. It just felt like that, and I was just like, I don't know if they did that on purpose. Probably, considering that they're marketing this to football fans rather than actual video game people.
Yeah.
Look, EA, I'm just telling you right now, if you don't have the mascot brawl in the game, you really missed an opportunity.
They're going to. They have to.
They
because
better fucking be.
In all the NHL games that used to exist, they still had like the parts where people beat the shit out of each other. So I'm willing to bet they have the mascot fights in there.
I would hope so. Well, it's not the mascot fights. It's like literally where both teams' mascots are playing a game or whatever. One of my favorite things to do is watch people just simulate them on like the hardest difficulty, and it's just the mascots like running up and down the field or whatever playing the game. And it's just like sometimes it is the funniest thing to watch. Oh man. So yeah, I'm so glad that EA has that happening while at the same time it's just like, also laying off 5% of its people.
I get all the excuses that people come up with. We overhired during the pandemic. Game budgets are getting so high, and all digital is coming up, so we don't need as many like physical games people anymore. I've heard all the arguments, and I still say like gaming is more. Not only that, gaming is more like profitable now than it's ever been. So yeah, game budgets may be going higher, but you're also making more money. I could understand if it's like inflation in the U.S. I think in all honesty, is about to enter another recession, but.
I mean, they've been saying that since, what was it, like 2021, basically? Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we're going into recession again.
Yeah.
So.
I just don't get it. I don't see how... because between last year and this year, like, hundreds of thousands of people have lost their jobs. And in an industry where basically everyone wants to get into... I get the indie scene is more popular than it's ever been, but it's just crazy, dude. I don't know what the solution is. Obviously, a lot of it just comes down to, these big companies trying to hold shareholder interest and trying to raise the value of their stock. But
I don't know. It's whenever you hear these like layoffs or whatever, all I can think of is it's time to unionize. But like you said, because there's so many people that want to get into the gaming industry, it's so hard to do because the instant that a bunch of people want to unionize, that studio lets them go, and then a bunch of other people are just so willing to take their place.
All I can really say is I hope things get better, that video games are sooner rather than later respected more as an art form, and hope anybody that did lose their job recently lands on their feet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, it just feels like AAA games have just like, a lot of them feel like they've really gone downhill. Like obviously there is exceptions to that rule and stuff, but it's like it feels like a vast majority of the AAA games that come out these days are either broken on launch and then get better as time goes on, or is just like utter garbage. Looking at you, Skull and Bones. Oh, my bad. That's not a AAA game. That's a quad A game. That's quadruple A game, baby.
You know what's funny? So I did buy an Assassin's Creed game recently, but it's one from 2 generations ago. I got Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh.
Because it's like, I want to play a Ubisoft game that has good ship combat. You know, you just play, Black Flag, or you play that one, or play any of the other games that have ship combat. It's like, why the hell would anyone pick up Skull and Bones? The exact thing that I said would happen happened, by the way. Like, sales for Black Flag went up by, almost 600% apparently? And that's the entire thing. It's like, game budgets are going up, and the games are getting worse, like you said.
Yeah, so at some point, I think that, I'm sorry, I cut you off there. What did you want to say?
I just wanted to add, it's just, I think a lot of the companies want to make, these big live service titles, and they're thinking, we need to do this because these microtransactions will, supplement our income.
Carry you through to whenever you will launch your next big title?
The thing is, nobody wants these shitty live services anymore. No. I really do think, aside from Fortnite, they're a dying brand. It's like you look even at some of the bigger live services like Destiny 2. Apparently, the sales for their upcoming expansion, the last one for that game, are way, way below the predicted pre-sales for that.
Yeah.
I just think people are sick of it, and they want just good, not even single player games. I think Helldivers 2 kind of quashes that, but just good games. Build a good game and then sell us more stuff on top of that already good experience. You don't need to make it a live service where everyone has to grind it out every single day and keep spending more and more money. If it's a game that people like and want to spend money on, that's what they're going to do.
It's at some point, I think that if you want to build a live service game, look at what Final Fantasy XIV is doing. Literally, it's just that fan base only continues to grow day after day. It is insane how many people play that game and how well it does. To this day, it's been years since that game came out, and you don't want to know what makes it still great is that every expansion adds upon to the story and to the interest and just gives everything what they want. It's like the developers know what the players want and just go for it. That's really what it comes down to, is that you need to build a community and you need to know what that community wants and have a community that you really respect and understand. Hey, we want this thing, and could you give us this thing? And they go, oh yeah, we got you. And really think out and plan out and what you want to do. It's I don't know. It's just it just feels like if you want to make a live service game, that's really how you need to do it.
What I've noticed when it comes to bad live services like Skull and Bones, and what I assume Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was going to end up being, is they very much feel like games I think they figured out how they were going to monetize players, and then they built the game around that. When it comes to good games, again, like Final Fantasy XIV, please don't cringe, but Dead by Daylight, they have a solid base, and they add on top of that with legit meaningful content.
Yeah.
In like DBD's case, they add new killers, new survivors, new maps. In Final Fantasy XIV's case, they come up with new story missions. There are other types of missions that you can go on. And when you keep giving players more and more stuff like that, they get excited at the prospect of giving you more money, as sad as that sounds. But when you just said, like, oh yeah, we have this mythic weapon that you can grind for, it's like, cool,
yeah.
Who cares,
I think gone are the days of it's just like, oh, just sit here and grind for the next like 30 hours, basically. Like, I really do believe that. Like, no one wants to sit for 30 hours and just do the same mission over and over, hoping to God you get the weapon you want because it has an insanely low drop rate. Nobody cares to do that anymore. I think Diablo 4 really learned that the hard way too. It's like the first season, not great considering that it was just like it took forever to level after like 70 especially. It was just like, and it just dissuaded a lot of players from ever wanting to play the game or whatever. Season 2 comes out, the experience points that you get from everyone, like they didn't lower the amount of experience, but they just increased the amount that each monster gives you and stuff like that. So it was so much easier to get to the end game stuff like that and just play and so much like that. And they had a nice gimmick, I thought, as well. And then even like Season 3, me and my brother played it for a week, and we just said it's just doesn't feel very good. Like the whole gimmick wasn't very good or whatever like that. Like the new uniques or whatever that they gave out weren't that great. So we just said, yeah, we haven't really gone back and play. I mean, it also doesn't help that games that we wanted this month came out, but
a lot of really good games came out this month.
Exactly. Like February was a stacked month, so that was just like, well, maybe we'll play it. I think and like the seasons are just so long, so it's just like, I don't know. Even if we picked it up like. Even in a month, we'd still finish like a 100 level 100 character or whatever. But that's really what it does. It's just like I'm not saying you can't make at least a little bit of a grind, but you can't make it so much to the point where it's just like, oh, I've spent 100 hours here and I still don't have a max level character. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody has time for that anymore.
And the thing is, with the game industry now, is there are so many other options. You can't bore the player like that. Because if you do the same mission over and over and over, grinding out for this one weapon or this one rare skin or whatever, people are going to get really, really bored. And with so many games out on the market, with so many indie games in particular, so many indie games, and people have Game Pass. They have so many options if they want to access something else, that they just don't feel like, okay, I don't need to sink all my time into this one video game because it took all of my money. I can just go do something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, why do I want to spend all this time just doing grinding? It's dumb. Nobody wants to do that. So it's just like, when you even look at it, it's like, I mean, you even mentioned it, it's like Helldivers is a good example of just like a game that's like, it's not, from what I can tell, it's not super grindy. It rewards players for, actually playing rather than just like, grinding a bunch or whatever. So it's just like, I think it just comes down to is that part of the reason why no one wants live service games is because live service games don't even know how to do live service anymore. It's just that the time of, oh, let me just put 100 hours into this new expansion or whatever is kind of done. It's like people would rather spend like maybe 30 hours max and then kind of just move on. Or, I mean, and then like give the ability to, if they want to do some more stuff, like in-game stuff, it's like there you go. So really what it comes down to. It's like, it's just that I just feel like a lot of live service games just haven't figured that out yet. When they do, I bet you there could be a resurgence, but I don't know if that'll be a thing.
There could be a market there, and that's why I really hope that Sony's not putting all their eggs in that basket. I mean, if they are, and they're as good as Helldivers 2, you may have something there.
You might got something. So
something else that really bugs me is what I've been hearing from quite a few people, actually, and I disagree firmly, and I really hope that no game company takes this to heart, is I've seen some people be like, well, since game budgets are getting so much higher, do we just need to increase the price of games again up to $100? And I'm like, no, 100% not.
If anything, I think you would lose sales from that, especially with the way that tracked the way that tracked like AAA games have kind of gone. It's that why would I pay $100 for this broken ass game on launch, and then like maybe a week later I'll be able to play it and it won't be broken as hell. If the quality was there right off the bat and the games were really great or whatever, cool. It's fine. And it's like I thought the whole point of like
I don't know, dude. Like even with that $100 is still pretty steep.
I get you, and I'm with you. So, but it's just like, but I thought that was the whole point of like these pre-order bonuses or whatever, or even like the deluxe editions or whatever, that which like includes the season pass or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like I thought that was the whole point, that if people want and know they're going to enjoy the game, then you can just pay the extra like 100 or whatever. Can pay the extra 30 or stuff. Like I thought that was the whole point of it. Are we just ditching that now? Like I don't understand.
Just no, games are too expensive. We gotta increase the price. And you know what? Honestly, my reaction to that is like everyone is like, oh well, games budgets are like 3 times what they used to be. Well, it's like,
but you're also probably selling 3 to 4 to 5 times more copies.
I mean that too. But on top of that, it's like, why can't we just have a solid like AA market? That's a thing. That can be a thing.
That absolutely can be a thing.
It's like I like my AAA blockbusters from time to time, but like a game like Helldivers 2, I'm more encouraged to spend money on that because it's only $40 and it's a game that's really good. You can have games with lower budgets, lower scopes, and just lower the price based on that, and that will encourage a ton of people to get in.
Why do you think indie games continue to succeed? They're lower priced than all these AAA games, and they're puts a lot of time and effort into something, and they're not overly massive. Like, I just like whenever these big companies decide figure out that it's just like, oh, we don't need to actually just put all of our eggs into one game, and then if that game flops, we have to shut down. Maybe they can say, oh, we can make this one big-ass game, but hey, why don't this small team over here, why don't you work on something smaller so that way, when this big game takes fucking years to make, we still have some sort of revenue in here and everything like that. Like, I just don't, like you said, I don't understand why these big companies don't do that.
It makes absolutely no sense. I feel like that'd be a better business strategy, if anything.
Absolutely.
Like invest more in small projects. It's okay, and a lot of people will appreciate them, and you'd probably get a lot of sales out of it.
Invest more into smaller games, and invest more into passion projects from developers that you either have, or honestly, if you literally have people just say, hey, if you literally go on to any social media and say, hey, any game developers out there want to pitch an idea, and if we really like it, maybe we'll roll with it type thing. You get so many responses, and I guarantee you'd probably find something you like.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. There's so many great creative people out there. It's like, there's no way in hell.
In this industry,
there's no way in hell you wouldn't find something you wouldn't like. So, I don't know. I don't know.
There's also the mindset from some gamers where it's just like, every game's got to be bigger, every game's got to be prettier, we have to have ultra graphics and multiple planets worth of playable maps and missions and stuff, and I'm over here just playing games from 2-3 generations ago, having a blast.
Yeah.
Literally, this gen, when it comes to this gen of games, some of the most fun experiences I've had are with older titles, primarily because that's a lot of what this has just been coming out. The Masters of Old Games. But it's true. I'm playing through Yakuza right now. I played through Ratchet and Clank, all the old Uncharted games. None of those are new, but I'm still having a ton of fun with them.
Yeah.
It's you don't need to have the biggest map in order to be a good open world game. Hell, even Assassin's Creed Mirage proves that. You don't need to have the prettiest graphics or the most realistic graphics to have a compelling story or a good narrative or make a good game. Oh, sorry, I kind of went on a rant there.
No, you're good. I 100%, absolutely 100% agree on that one. It's just like it is just it's mind-boggling to think that it's just like, oh, we can only make these types of games or whatever. And I sit here going just like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So much potential and so much you can do. It's just like you don't have to make big ass games.
My fucking heart broke when I read that article from Halo devs where they were like, oh yeah, we pitched a game that was like an ODST version of Helldivers 2 to Microsoft, but then they said, nah, we don't want to do that. There's no promise on a game like that, and basically everyone in the Halo community would have just collectively
loved it.
We would have loved that.
I would have loved it. Like, this is why I say it's like the people who make the decisions to like which games are we going with, which games are we don't. Do you even play games? Like, like do you even do these things or whatever? Like, do you like clearly you don't know jack shit.
Microsoft, take the people that greenlit Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment and let them start making the decisions for you.
It's so, like I was just like I cannot believe that it's just like that it's like oh yeah, we pitched Helldivers like years before Helldivers 2 came out. I'm like, and yeah, they told no, and I'm sitting there going just like
baffled. Imagine how much better of a state like Halo or Xbox would be in if that did happen.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. As soon as Helldivers came out, whoever said no to that ODST game must just be fucking...
and this is why I go is I sit here going just like a lot of AAA game, a lot of AAA like studios or whatever, or publishers, they just don't want to take that risk. It's so weird to me that it's just like, oh well, we got to guarantee we make money off it or whatever. That's why we're like and stuff like that. We don't want to do something experimental to the point where it's just like nobody's gonna like it then.
Even then, though, with games like that, they don't like we said. They don't need to be huge, high budget. It's like make it into a lower budget game.
Exactly.
It's like I'm sure it would have cost no more than it cost to make Helldivers 2. And it's like it's much less of a risk for you guys.
Exactly. That's why I just like I don't understand why they continually say it's like oh we don't want to make the game because it's too risky to make it at the level we would want to make it at or whatever. And I sit here going just like then just make it smaller. It's like if you have a good idea, you have a great concept here going forward, then move with it. If you don't want to make it a big thing or whatever, that's fine. Just say here's your small team or whatever. Go have at it. You have this much money to work with and stuff, and like that way, it's I don't know. It's just like
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with testing the waters to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
and I feel like so many more like AAA game developers or publishers would be in such a better spot if they were more willing to take those risks.
This is why. This is why like all like whenever you see like crazes kind of go on starting from like indie games or whatever, like look at roguelikes. Roguelikes are a huge thing in recent years when it comes to like indie scenes, and so many like AAA studios have tried to weasel their way in there, but they haven't got it to work because they don't like how do we make it bigger or whatever? How do we make it better than all these indie titles or whatever? And it's just like you can't. Like that's part of their mystique about it is that they're simple to the point, but also very deep at the same time. It's like I think the game that probably did it the best was like Returnal, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And it's just like I just don't feel like that. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. It's like whenever you see anything or anything like really start with like indie games or whatever. They like you'll see like years later AAA games getting involved in it, and I'm sitting here going just like, guess what? That was like 3 years ago by that point.
The world's moved on, man.
Yeah.
The idea is to be ahead of the game, not behind it.
Yeah. So how do you do that? Is like we said, do smaller games, do other things or whatever. It's like, what was it? I recently saw, and I see on Steam here, this last Epoch or whatever, Epoch or what game or whatever, which is like a Diablo thing, which I heard it does Diablo way better than Diablo does. It does hack and slash like looters way better than Diablo does. It's all I've heard about it. It's $35 $35. And it's arguably just better than Diablo. A lot of people have talked about it. A lot of content creators are making more stuff about it than Diablo is. And it's like, what did they do better? It looks
pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just made good, fun, engaging gameplay.
Exactly.
And they gave it a nice price that accentuates the value. And if you want to spend more on the game, you can. That's totally an option to you.
And you know what's really funny is, though, it really doesn't look that much worse than Diablo does.
No.
I don't know, man. It's just like, well, Diablo took us like 10 years, like Diablo 3 to Diablo 4, it took us like 10 years to make. And I sit here going just like, these guys literally did it in way less time, and it's a way better game. It's like, I can't wait to see like future seasons of Diablo 4 doing like something similar to what they do. That's what that game's doing.
So something else that I think is worth mentioning is like, you don't if you want to really like go all in on an idea, like that's completely fine, but it's okay to test out the like if like put out that Halo ODST, call it like Hell Jumpers or whatever. Let's just call it that for argument's sake. So Hell Jumpers comes out. It's a low budget. They put it out for like $20-$25. There's not a whole lot to it, but people like it. So you decide, okay, let's invest in this. Then you can make your big budget version. You already have an audience for that game, and now you're capitalizing on an already existing audience and getting even more people because it's not only a sequel and a franchise, but it looks like a huge upgrade from the last one. I don't know. Like, we're obviously not experts, but I think
we're not experts, but we're the people playing the game. We're the people playing the game. We're the people that are spending the money here, guys.
We're the audience.
We're the customers. We are. If we say we want this, maybe you should think about, hey, let's give them that. And it's the thing is like, I guarantee you, we're not the only ones that say this too. It's like, no, I guarantee there are so many other people that would. I don't know, and it also just feels like because because a lot of people that are gaming later into their like adulthood as well, and you sit here going just like nobody wants to really like. Not a ton of people want to play like hundreds of hours of gameplay stuff. It's like maybe I just want like a smaller game that's like anywhere from 15 to 25 hours or something like that.
Yeah, completely fine.
It's 100% fine. It's like we don't got all the time. We don't got all the time to spend like on these hundreds of hours of games or whatever. Cool. I literally saw earlier today that that the time to 100% Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was anywhere from 150 to 200 hours to platinum it. Jesus Christ Almighty! I'm never gonna do that.
Sort of time? No.
It's like my brother told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I would definitely want to platinum it." I'm like, okay. You go right ahead. You go right ahead if you really want to do that. I'll play the game. I'll finish it from start to finish. Probably be anywhere from, I don't know, probably 60 to 80 hours or something like that. Maybe a little longer than that. Probably longer than that, to be honest with you. Considering I just started downloading the game and it was 145 fucking gigabytes.
It's a pretty game though.
I know it is. But I just go, holy shit. And remember, like, the whole thing when the PS5 came out, like, one of the biggest things was that that the hard drive didn't have enough storage for, like, how big games are. It's so true. I had to uninstall, like, all my games that I had installed on it. Not all of them, but, like, a good chunk of them.
Yeah.
So I was just, like, just to download that one game. And I just go, Jesus Christ. It's just crazy. I just couldn't imagine like platinuming that game. I was like, I don't care to platinum games, and I'm good. I'm good. I'll play it. I'll enjoy the story. That's all I care about. Oh, just because we were talking about Helldivers before. Did you see that the big I saw on the subreddit or whatever that Helldivers was like literally having subreddit posts about like, oh, people are kicking people from like parties or whatever that aren't playing the meta builds or whatever, and just like absolutely shitting on the people who do that. And I'm just like, yeah, you should. It's like, sorry that I'm not playing the meta or whatever, but it's like I'm just having fun.
Why the fuck is there a meta in a non-competitive game like that? I
don't know, man. Because
that makes absolutely no sense.
Because when it comes to grinding, you want to do it in the most efficient way possible. I guess I don't fucking know.
Who cares about grinding? I am sorry. Who gives a single fuck? It's like you're playing a fun game like Helldivers, a game where people are going around being silly and just trying to have a fun time, and you're being like, oh, you're not fucking playing the meta. I can't get the best guns or the most points this way. It's like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? You play. That's not why you should play video games in your spare time.
Exactly. Do it for fun. That's the whole point of video games. It's all to have fun. It was just like I literally saw. I was like, also it's just like people were like, with like Persona 3 Reload or whatever. Like there's like a exploit you can do with like, because the Reaper gives like an absurd amount of XP or whatever if you kill the Reaper. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like what people are doing is that you go into the first like set where he can like show up or whatever. You stay on the floor until he spawns. You start the fight with him. You turn the game's difficulty from like whatever you have it at to peaceful, because you literally can't game over on peaceful. And you just like set the game to auto attack the Reaper for you, and it's just like, oh, I just gained like 40 levels from that. And I just go, but are you even playing the game to that point? Like, sincerely, are you even playing the game to that point? Like, I don't care if you can do this. It doesn't.
Why would you want?
Why would you want to do that? It's boring. It's dumb. I don't know. It's just like, did you even play the game? You know? Like, I sort of think that people don't even.
Team quote. Why are you playing the game like this? You shouldn't want to do that.
It's just like, do people enjoy games? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. It's just wild to me that it's just like, oh yeah, people are just like all about it. Just like, you got to play the meta, you got to do all these things and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck. If you're having fun, you're having fun, bro. That's why it's like oftentimes when it comes to like those types of games or whatever, it's just like, I don't know, I'll play like the weird stupid shit or whatever that nobody would think of doing.
No, dude, there's totally going to be an esports scene for fucking Helldivers.
Yeah.
That makes absolute sense to kick people out for not playing the meta.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, no. If you do that, you're a piece of shit, and I hope you know that.
Yeah.
This is plain what it is.
Go back to playing Destiny.
I don't know. Go back to playing your Call of Duty, I guess. I don't know. Go back to playing Fortnite or Warzone or some shit. I don't know. Anyway.
We like to have fun here.
Yeah, we have fun here. We don't care about the meta. Meta's stupid. Anyway, moving on. Pokemon Direct happened, which had almost nothing in it, really. It really had like it was 12 minutes long and almost had nothing in it. The big thing at the end was the Pokemon Legends like Z or whatever. Cool. I never played Gen 5.
I mean,
or was it Gen 5 or Gen 6? I think it was like 6. I don't know. I don't even know what Gen is.
Like, I've been told good things about Arceus and, Scarlet and Violet, and I was maybe I'll pick those up one day, but I'm very much in the boat where I'm just like, I don't give a single fuck about Pokemon ever. And I realize that we're kind of in the minority with that. It's like a lot of people love Pokemon. People in our friend group really love Pokemon and are probably really excited about some of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
But I just read this and it's like, all right, sure.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It's just like, I feel like the Pokemon boat has sailed for us, and we don't have the nostalgia that like some people do or whatever with it. it's like it's just you look back and it's like, oh yeah, I had fun playing like the old Pokemon games. Like I had fun with like Yellow and even like Crystal and there was a Silver and Crystal version or whatever whatever it was, I don't remember. Or even like Gen 3. It's like Gen 3 is literally like the last like Pokemon that I actually really really enjoyed. Like that I could play start to finish like anytime. Anytime. And it's like I got to Gen 4, I'm like, I mean, it's not bad or whatever, and then it was just like Gen 5 and I go, what the fuck is this? Get out of my sight. So it's literally what I said. And I was like, I think I played like because there was Pokemon White and Black or whatever, and then I think I played that, and I said, this is utter garbage. I don't know what the fuck I just played. and then I started playing. I think it was Pokemon Black 2 because my brother always had the white version, and it was just like, and I just go, people play this? And it's like I just fell off the Pokemon train from there. So
no,
I don't know. So I mean, yeah, Arceus didn't look bad. It did look bad, but at the same time, the gameplay was fine. So it's like that's how it made up for it.
Yeah.
Then again, apparently that's how Scarlet and Violet also runs. Runs like ass, but because it's Pokemon, nobody gives a fuck.
Hey, if the reports are true, we're getting the next gen Switch or whatever this year.
And that's why I said to my brother, I was like, "What do you think this is like one of the launch games for the Switch 2 or whatever?" Maybe.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be until next year. So if we're getting it this year, then it's like it won't technically be a launch, but
I mean, I'm willing to bet that we're going to at least get one new Pokemon game and either a Zelda or a Mario game with the release of the new Switch.
Oh, probably.
I would hope so, anyway.
I mean, it's definitely probably a Mario than a Zelda or anything.
Just watch, we get a WarioWare game instead.
I was like, how much do you want to bet they put Tears of the Kingdom on it almost instantly and then like show a comparison between the Switch and the Switch 2 or whatever? It's like, look at how much better it runs.
I mean, apparently it's going to play all your old Switch games.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just like, but then they'll have kind of how the PlayStation went for it. They'll have the PS4 versions, and then there's also you can upgrade to the PS5 versions. I don't know. It's just silly. But the thing that got me during that presentation was the fucking Pokemon Pocket like app thingy or whatever, which is basically just like it's just like it's the TCG like app that they have on computers right now, but like it's going on to like mobile and stuff like that, and it's basically like you can open packs onto your phone and then just look at the cards from there. Cool. As somebody who plays like card games and likes the physical cards of stuff, I don't know why you would do this. But then again, I guess I'm in the minority especially when it comes to Pokemon.
What, all of our decks combined cost less than $100, whereas people are selling like single cards for hundreds of dollars and are like, oh, it's not the rainbow rarity, it sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking Pokemon card market makes no sense to me.
Crazy.
We've said this multiple times, though. It's like it makes zero sense. I don't know how card value is assessed, really. And pretty much nobody that buys a bunch of the cards ever plays the actual card game.
Yeah. It's all it really is. It's just, yeah. I don't know. It's silly. Like I just like I couldn't imagine just like playing like, oh, I play Pokemon or whatever, or I just open packs on the Pokemon app or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, look at this card I got, and it's like you think you're pulling out like an actual card or whatever, and you pulling out your phone, you're like, oh, look at that, and I was like, oh, cool, it's a picture on a phone.
Man, it'd be really cool if you actually owned that.
I feel like I sound like I'm a boomer right now because I guarantee. Like, here's the thing: This is either a segment of a show that's going to age very poorly in the next like 2-3 years, because then everyone's going to move to this. Like every card game is basically going to move to this because of this, like because of the success of this, or it will flop hard as fuck because people like the actual cards. Now I would hope it's the latter, but at the same time, it's like I could totally see it swinging the other way because I don't know.
People are okay not owning their shit, apparently.
Well, it's just like, oh, it's cheaper to open packs like on the app or thing or whatever. But
cool. They can take away the app any day they feel like. They can just delist it. There goes your entire collection. They can't ever come into my house and take my cards away.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the card market's never really gonna go away. I'd have to think like. There's too many people that are in to the TCG, and it like the actual TCG brings in so much fucking money. So it's just like I don't foresee that anytime soon going away. But it's just like the fact is that now it's just like, oh, are you too poor to actually do the actual card games? Here, do it on your phone on this little app thingy, and I'm just like. What the fuck, dude? It's like I get not wanting to invest like a bunch of money into a card game and stuff like that, but it's like, well, fine. I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. It's like, oh yeah, I want to get into the card game without actually getting into the card game. What the fuck did you just say to me? It's like if you like the cards and you want to get into the cards. That's fine. You like buy a pack every so often. It's fine, or whatever. I don't know. Save up to buy a box if you really wanted to. I don't know. Like I'm the first to admit that like TCGs are a money dump. They are. They absolutely are. But
oh yeah,
they're
easily.
Fun.
They are fun. If you're gonna buy cards, though, try to play the actual card game.
Yeah, and it's just
Please.
like have people to play with or something like that. Usually, it's like sometimes people I see people like buy like a pre-con of like a Magic deck and then just go, oh yeah, I don't know where to play this because they don't like want to go to the shop or whatever, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah, just pick up a couple cards, have a couple dudes you enjoy hanging out with. And just play and have fun.
Yeah. That's all you can do. Yeah. So yeah, that was basically the Pokemon Presents. That was only like 12 minutes or whatever. There's something with Pokemon Sleep. Skipped right past that. I saw the Pokemon Pocket and I went, what the fuck is this? I just don't get it. I guess there was like some Scarlet Violet DLC. Who cares?
Sorry to people watching, but we're just not into Pokemon.
Not interested in the least. Like, I just like I don't. Whenever I think of like what can Pokemon do to get my interest again into Pokemon, it is like I really don't know. I just don't think it's possible for me at this moment. Like. I think I would be interested if they ever like made like this big ass game where it's like it's every generation. You can literally find every Pokemon. It's like a massive like it's like this massive. It's really funny that we just had this whole rant about not every game needs to be massive type thing. And now I'm gonna pitch a massive Pokemon game where you can find every Pokemon.
I'm not actually. I have another suggestion of something that would capture my attention.
Okay.
Have a Pokemon game with a really interesting like story and campaign. That's just not the actual. That not just the actual. Go to the gyms, the big six or whatever. No, it's like I mentioned this a few times on our previous podcast, but one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time was XD Gale of Darkness, and there was a whole story, a whole thing going on in that game. Just maybe try making something like that. It doesn't need to be the biggest or fullest Pokemon game of all time, but something that has a interesting and like good Pokemon story.
Yeah,
I'd buy that.
Just something that's different from the fold, like you were just saying. It's like, here's your starter Pokemon. Now go beat the 8 gyms, head to the Elite Four, and once you do that and you beat the champion, good job, you did it. You beat the game. Now go catch them all. Okay.
Cool, dude.
Nah, I think I'm good. So, whatever. Yeah, so I agree with that. I will say that it was like it's one of two ways. It's a game that actually has a really good story, or something that is like so big that you can catch like literally every Pokemon that's ever been made, and then maybe like update it as more generations come out, I guess. But that'll never happen, so we're good.
Yeah.
That's never gonna happen. That's the Pokemon game that all like old Pokemon fans dream of. Al, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If
I got an answer.
This is a hypothetical, okay? If you could pick one game or one series of games that every time you pick up the game and hit new game, everything, every little last bit of memory of that game would be flushed out of your brain. Which game would it be, or which series would it be?
I already know what yours is, but I'm trying to think what mine would be. It's hard because if there was any game that I could relive like completely for the first time, it'd probably be Alan Wake.
And I'm not talking just like one time. It's like every time you hit new game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like whenever you're just like, oh man, I really love this game. I'm gonna hit new game, and then literally every bit of it goes out of your brain.
And you get to experience it
like it's the first time every time he hit new game.
BioShock.
That's a good one. I was recently asked that question, and I sat there going, just like, it's, I don't know, it's probably the Persona series. Like, I just enjoyed those so much or whatever.
Oh.
Like, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, if we're also including franchises, then it's probably it would probably be the Final Fantasy games, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, that's a tough one. I was like, that was hard. I had to think about that one for a while.
There's a lot of franchises that come to mind, but if it's one where I really care about experiencing again for the first time every single time, it probably would be the BioShock games.
Oh, the Final Fantasy composer is like basically retiring.
That's too bad. His music was always consistently really good.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his name because I know I'll just butcher it. So I don't want to do that. But he's basically composed like soundtracks for a bunch of Final Fantasy games here, and it sounds like he just doesn't have it in him to do more ones that he doesn't absolutely just love. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I understand. It's like, you've been doing this for how long now?
Gotta retire at some point.
Yeah.
So something good that came out of the games industry recently. What was it? Control. Remedy got the rights to that franchise back.
Oh, nice.
Now, if Microsoft would just give them control of Quantum Break 2, then everything can come together.
The whole Remedy universe can come together in one.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, Microsoft, you're not doing anything with it anyways. So just, you know.
Well, isn't that the same thing? Didn't From Software say that they have no like actual rights to like Bloodborne as well?
Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, even if they wanted to release that on like different platforms, they can't.
I'm sure they want to.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you kidding? The market for that would be huge. Which is why I'm wondering, why hasn't PlayStation done that?
I don't fucking know, man. Again, this comes down to, do execs even know what gamers want these days? I don't fucking know. Probably not, considering how many of them make stupid decisions.
This may be a dumb question, but do you think it could be a whole thing of where they did go to FromSoft being like, hey, we want to do this. We'll give you the money for it. Being like, okay, well, can we release it on like PC too, or just like something like that? Well, no, we want it to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Oh, well then no. Yeah, we're good. We're doing our own thing. You guys can do whatever you want.
I feel like a studio would have to be in an incredibly lucrative situation. I mean, like FromSoft or whatever, considering that, you know, already. I'm pretty sure sales from like the Shadows of the Erdtree DLC probably have already spiked massively.
Yeah.
So to like a smaller one or like a studio that's not doing so hot, they would absolutely not turn that down. But for like FromSoft, oh, probably.
Yeah, but they don't need it by any comparison.
Because how much is like, how much was the Shadows of the Erdtree DLC? Wasn't it like, yeah, it's like $40.
It's going to be worth it though.
It will.
It's FromSoft.
It sounds like there's like a whole huge new area opened up, a bunch of different bosses to fight. I was like, I think the only other From Software game I've ever played, I think, was Dark Souls 1, and then I was like, I don't remember where I was, but I remember I was like, I was either at some boss or some area that I was just like pissing me off, and I was just like, I'm fucking done, and I never picked up the game after that. I thought it'd be like one of those things where it's just like, all right, you just go, I gotta come back and do this another time because I'm just too fucking frustrated with this right now. and then you come back to it after so long. Never did. I don't remember why. It was so long ago.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I was like, because I remember playing the original Dark Souls. Because the original Dark Souls came out on, was that PS2? Something like that? I don't remember. Because I remember seeing like they had a sale for like Dark Souls or whatever on like Steam a while back. So I have Dark Souls 1, like the Prepare to Die edition, along with the Dark Souls 2. So I'm just like, maybe I'll get around to playing those games.
You excited for the new Shogun show that's coming out?
Shogun show?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that
is. Based off the book. It's Shogun is a really, really good book that focuses on feudal Japan. Really recommended it to me a while ago, and I'm gonna hopefully read it here soon. But there's a show coming out about it, and I'm dreadfully scared about getting spoiled on it. But
I see that. No, okay, looks interesting. I don't know. Probably just skip it though.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I was like, I recently had to resubscribe to Disney Plus because the new Bad Batch season is out, and it's pretty good so far. So, but I was really bored last night and really tired or whatever. Not super tired, but like I was just like, I was kind of just relaxed for the night, and so rather than like play something or do something else. So I was just like, you know what? I was like, I had to resubscribe to Disney Plus. Let's see what's on there since I do that, and then I remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, Elementals came out or whatever. So I actually sat and watched that movie.
Yeah.
I'll say this. It was actually surprisingly good. I actually quite enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's a simple plot. It's a simple plot line or whatever, but like hits on like a bunch of different things. Like obviously it's like the whole elemental city or whatever. It's just like, oh, fire can't mix with water, and there's like basically like racism or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about the Pixar movie.
Yeah, the Pixar movie.
Okay. I thought you were talking about Eternals for a second.
No. Elemental.
Okay.
Did I say Eternal? I meant Elemental.
No, you said Elementals. I just thought you mispronounced it because you said Elementals. I was like, did he mean Eternals?
Nope. Not that. I do not care. So it was actually really good. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did.
I mean, it didn't look too bad from the trailers that I've seen.
No.
I'm not quite sure why people dogpiled it when it first came out. I suppose it did look like a fairly typical, Pixar movie.
I mean, it is and isn't at the same time. Mm-hmm. It is really how I look at it. It's just like it is, but isn't. I don't know. It's definitely. I was like, here's the thing: you can look at it and go, "Oh, it's an animated show. It's for kids." It's not necessarily for kids. It's very much a love story.
Well, the target market is kids, but it's not for kids.
It's not necessarily for kids.
Yeah.
But, it can be. There are funny moments and, cool visuals and stuff. But at the same time, it's like the overarching story is very much like would probably go over kids' heads. I'll be honest with you. So that's what I said. I'm just like, I'm literally like, there was like literally like scenes where I'm just like, why am I about to cry in the middle of a kid's of a kid's movie?
It almost made you cry.
It legitimately almost made me cry at moments. Like legit, I was just like, wow. I'm actually getting teary eyed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I may have to watch this now. Okay.
It does a surprisingly good job at getting you invested into like the two main characters.
Did you ever? Okay.
I don't know. It's just like it was like the thing that surprised me that I think the most about it is that it did a surprisingly good job at just getting me invested in the characters. That's all I really wanted to say.
That's good. You ever get around to watching what was it? Lightyear?
I did.
That's another one that I wanted to watch, but I never got around to. Is it good?
It's all right. I thought it was like I don't know. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. I think like it was like worth a watch. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was like
I did see that whole thing where it's like Zurg was really Buzz from the future or whatever, and I thought that was really stupid. But
yeah. It was pretty much like they did this whole like. Yeah, it is like because he was like trying to, I don't know, save everyone by like using light speed or whatever, but because of how it was he went on like so many things, it was like time was different because for him it was only a few minutes, but for the rest of the world or for like the the planet he was on or whatever, it was like years. And he just like kept doing it over and over and over. He's like, I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get us home type thing. And then just like, and then he realized like right at the end, he's like, oh, while I was trying to complete the mission or whatever, everyone was just like living their lives and having a good and like thriving here and like, having families and whatever. And it was just like, there was like the moment where it was just like, I guess spoilers, but like, I don't know, it's kind of.
I already spoiled the movie, Rotten. You can go ahead.
That's true, I guess. but it's just like he literally like comes back after one mission or whatever, and he goes to like where his like commanding officer or like friend was, and she was like, she's like, oh yeah, Buzz, if you ever see this, I'm probably dead type thing and whatever, and so here's like, here's my last words to you or whatever, and like. And it was just like, wow. And that's surprisingly hard. And then he tried like one more time or whatever, and then it all of a sudden hit Zurg, all of a sudden came back, and it's just like, oh yeah. And it's just like it was like an alternate dimension like Buzz basically, because it was just like, oh, where he was still on like complete the mission at all costs, no matter what type thing. It's like we can fix it right here and now and fix the timeline and stuff like that. Whereas like then Buzz just went, but wait, then all this good stuff that happened won't actually happen then if we do that. And then the other one just goes, blah, 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 I don't care.
I know it would have been more generic, but couldn't have you just made a fun action movie?
Well, I was expecting to still like it was just like, oh, you find out it was actually Buzz's father. Like that was what I was doing the whole time. I was like, I get that the whole moment from Toy Story 2 was just like a Star Wars reference the whole time. I get that, but at the same time, it's like, why couldn't you have just made it his father?
That would have been really funny too.
That's what I said too. I'm like, why can't you just actually make it his father?
Because I'm looking at this as like someone. In the perspective of someone that's in the Toy Story universe, that would have gone right over Andy's head being that young and having all this like confusing timeline bullshit. Just make it his father. Just make a simple, fun action movie. Yeah. There doesn't need to be anything crazy about it.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just like it was like a solid movie. Like, I wouldn't say it was anything crazy though.
Okay. That sounds fun. That does sound interesting, though. I feel like so many people want the film industry is in a weird spot where I feel like it's kind of trying to be like the games industry, weirdly enough, where everything just has to be like the biggest thing of all time, and movie budgets are getting so big now.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
Where it's just like, and you have people talking shit about like the upcoming Godzilla movie being like, it's not going to be deep, it's insightful and interesting like Godzilla -1 was, and the director for that movie was just like, oh yeah, I've seen trailers for it. It looks awesome. I'm excited to go watch it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know. It just feels like for
people just forgot to have fun, man.
People either forgot to have fun or just like, why do you watch movies these days? You know?
Why do you watch movies? Why do you play video games? Why do you watch television shows?
Like, I don't know. It's just like
if you're not doing this stuff to enjoy yourself, like, why are you even participating in it?
Exactly. I just sit here going just like, then it's not for you. Like, don't give a shit about it. Like, it just feels like everyone just always feels like they need to be a part of the next big thing type thing. Like they got to be in with everyone else or whatever. And I sit here going just like, I don't care a shit about half of anything that happens nowadays. I don't give a fuck. It's just like I watch what I know I will enjoy. It's like it's like I really liked the first 2 seasons of the Star Wars The Bad Batch. I'm absolutely loving season 3 so far. I think it's gonna be great. And then I was sitting here going just like, I wasn't sure about Elemental. I thought maybe I was like, if I walked away with like, you know, after watching that movie, I would have said, I was like, it's a 7 out of 10 movie. Like, it was not bad, but it was not great. And I went, wow, this is actually like, I would honestly put it at like a 9 out of 10 just because of how much it makes you care.
Nice.
So, I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. Maybe I just have a greater appreciation because I like just like simple kind of stories like that. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, you can kind of tell like a campy story or whatever. It's like, oh, it's like she's fire, he's water or whatever. They can't ever mix type thing. Like clearly that was the whole plot line going forward, and they said it multiple times throughout the movie. But it's like, but still want to know how it goes, you know? Like,
yeah,
And that's what it was, and it just did it so well.
Nice.
Also, the voice actors for a lot of the characters did a very good job.
Mm-hmm. That's always good.
Yeah, did a very good job.
Are you excited? Have you watched the first Dune movie? I guess I should ask you.
You know, that's really funny, is that Evan invited me to go watch Dune Part 2. Haven't even watched the first one.
Okay, you're going to come over to my house and we're going to watch Dune 1 together.
I definitely need to, especially if we're still on for Friday to go watch Dune. I have no idea. I haven't heard from him since then. I don't know, but I probably should watch it at some point. Because otherwise I'm going to go into Part 2 and it's like, I haven't even watched Part 1. I have no clue what's even going on.
Oh, are you going this Friday?
Evan texted me a while back saying, hey, you want to go watch Doom Part 1? Or Doom Part 2? And I'm just like, sure. I guess it gives me an excuse to watch Part 1. And then it's February 28th, and the movie comes out Friday. It comes out in like 2 days. I should probably, watch it.
What are you doing after this podcast is over?
Watching Dune, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. Is like Dune? Where do you stream Dune?
At my house.
Well, is there another place that you can do it otherwise?
Yeah, on my television. Here, I'm looking it up.
I know. It's on Netflix. Gross.
I mean, it's also on Hulu and on HBO Max.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And Apple TV.
So everywhere is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Or you can just rent it for $4, or you can come hang out with your old buddy Alex that already has it. You can watch it for free and watch it with a bunch of snacks.
There you go.
I like the first Dune movie, but it didn't include all the details that the book did.
I mean, it never was going to. We all knew that.
I know, but I miss those details. I live for those details.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Trust me.
That's the whole thing. It's the curse when it comes to reading more stuff now. It's like I'm like, oh, I read the book for this. I should watch the TV show in it, and I just end up every single time just thinking the book was better.
The book was better.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating every time.
It's like I was recently reading through like actually reading the Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah.
And it's just like man, I wish Tom Bombadil was in the movie now.
I know. I've read a bunch of the extended universe stuff for Lord of the Rings. I've never read the 3 main books, funnily enough. I almost don't want to because I feel like they're going to ruin the movies for me.
Not necessarily, but like
okay.
It's just like especially like I was listening to the audiobook narrated by Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like he does a really good job. My only gripe is that all of his dwarf and elf voices all sound the same. I mean, not much different you can do when you're just doing one thing, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like it's not really a complaint. It's just like, but it's like sometimes it's hard to differentiate characters. Like there's times when you're in when it's like Galadriel is talking to like Legolas or whatever, it kind of sounds the same. Other than like at times he'll go like more high pitched for Galadriel, and it's just like that's like your thing. But sometimes I go, okay, I'm a little lost here. Who's talking here? that type of thing. Or my favorite though was literally listening to him sing the Tom Bombadil stuff. At like towards it was so fun. It was just like you can tell he had so much fun doing those bits or whatever. And I'm just like, hell yeah, that was that. And the first book, that was the best part of the book. Was literally like listening to Andy Serkis just go, "Hey, oh, it's Tom Bombadil." It was great. Yeah.
Is it weird that I don't hate the Hobbit movies?
No, I don't.
I get the criticisms that people have, but I have fun with those movies. I can't bring myself to not enjoy them.
Same. I am the same way. Like I don't. I understand their flaws, and I understand like a lot of the criticism, and a lot of it I agree with. But at the same time, it's like, but they're still cool.
It's Lord of the Rings, man. It's like, how can you go wrong?
Yeah, it was just like I remember first thing I did is I read The Hobbit because I was like I listened to The Hobbit.
Yeah,
and
because I had in high school too.
Yeah, I that was the first time since like grade school I actually like read it or whatever. So I was just like, oh yeah, I was like I didn't remember like fucking anything, and then I went to go watch the books, and I'm like, it's like, man, they really could have done some things from the books a lot better, and like because like there were some things that were a lot cooler, but a lot of it was just like going to be very boring, and I guarantee you that's why they cut it.
Yeah.
The biggest criticism, which is absolutely the criticism that everyone has about the movies especially, is why the fuck was there a love interest for Killy?
I don't fucking know.
And like the love interest was an elf. Like what? An elf that's not even in the book. Like what the fuck? Well, considering that I was like after like years after like the Lord of the Rings came out, it was like they wanted like Peter Jackson to kill like to kill one of the hobbits or whatever, and he's just like, no, we're not doing that. And it's like, yeah, it's probably a good move.
Did one of the hobbits die in the books?
No.
Okay.
But they thought the studio itself thought that more people would be more invested into the movie if like either it'd have to be either Merry or Pippin would have to die because they were the only
Oh,
hobbits
no.
that would have been like expendable. Because it's like, oh, Sam dies and then Frodo's left alone to go reach Mount Doom. The end of the fucking movie doesn't make sense then. It's completely different from the book.
Bro, that would have pissed me off.
And you're gonna tell me you're gonna get rid of you're gonna get rid of Sam? It's like, bro, he's like the best part of like the Return of the King. Frodo wouldn't have made it very far without Sam.
No. They throw us a real curveball and get rid of Frodo.
Yeah, and it turns out that Sam was the real hero the whole time. I mean, that's what everyone always theorizes when it comes to the movies. Is like, oh, he had the ring for that even that short bit or whatever. Like when Frodo got captured, but it's just like
Frodo comes back as a wizard.
Frodo comes back as a wizard. Yeah, absolutely.
Merry and Pippin turned into Nazgul. Somehow.
No, instead of Gandalf, saying you cannot pass or whatever, and then falling to his death. It's like, yeah, he died, but he was brought back. But at the same time, it's just like, oh, what if he just never did that? And the Balrog was just set free.
It'd be sad. It'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah, it'd be kind of awesome, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah.
Now there's just a Balrog running around. It's like, oh, now we dealt with we dealt with the Dark Lord. Hey, there's this giant fucking Balrog over here. How the fuck do we fight that thing?
Then Legolas or somebody just goes, oh yeah, we took care of him off screen. He's good.
Yeah, I just shot an arrow right in his eye and he just died.
Yep, it's that easy.
Yep, absolutely. 100% that easy to kill one of the most terrifying demons in all of hell.
What's going to be the next big, if a video game movie is going to get a franchise kind of like Sonic is, which one do you think it's going to be? Like, are we going to get a Uncharted sequel, do you think?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
I don't think we'll ever get that, to be honest with you.
I think we're going to get another Mario movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Oddly enough. But what do you think the next, what's another video game franchise that you think would make a good movie franchise?
Zelda.
I mean, yeah. I could see them getting Zelda getting a Lord of the Rings-esque trilogy. I think that'd be fucking sick. But in terms of non-Nintendo stuff, let's say, I don't think that we're going to get a sequel to Borderlands. I'm going to call it right now. I think it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to be super as successful as they want it to be.
No, probably not, considering everyone's first reaction. Do you think that there's ever a chance that they just go, yeah, we see that the trailer was out of shit. Let's go reshoot it now.
No, I think they're too far deep at this point.
Dude, real fast.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you haven't seen Madam Web?
No.
I haven't seen it either.
Intend to.
But apparently the main villain is ADR the entirety of the movie.
What?
So every line apparently that the suit guy or whatever, or everyone calls him Mr. ADR or whatever, because everything he says was ADR'd in the movie, basically. It's literally almost every line was done after they were done filming. And they just decided that we're not going to go back and reshoot it. Even though there's scenes where it's literally, you can see his mouth moving and it does not match what he's saying at all.
I've heard nothing but bad things about that movie. I'm pretty sure the only reason they put it out was because it's we're already done filming.
Yeah.
A bunch of the effects already done. Let's just throw it out there. Who cares?
Pretty much, yeah. It's just I sit here and just going it's so crazy
isn't
to
a
me.
Bad character. I don't see why it would be that hard to make a movie out of it.
It's really not. But it's it's so crazy to me that Sony just continually puts out really good games, especially all these Spider-Man games that they've been putting out recently by Insomniac and stuff. And then, but when it comes to their Spider cinematic universe or whatever, it sucks. It sucks. Everything about it is bad.
I mean, no, they made Into and Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, I'm excluding those, but like,
yeah,
but it's just like, a majority of their live action like Spider-Man stuff,
like
that's
cinematic
not
universe stuff that they've wanted to do.
Yeah,
it's like they put out 2 okay Venom movies. They've made Madam Web, which was utter shit, and as much as I like Andrew Garfield, nobody liked the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Oh, I love
nobody.
I liked the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Dude, what? No, I why?
I thought they were fun.
All right.
I liked the first one a lot.
Their own, I guess.
I liked the first one a lot. I'll say that. Second one, it was all right.
To each their own. I'm not gonna comment.
It's fair. It's fair, but it's it's crazy to me. It's like, and then Craven is supposed to maybe coming out. We still have no idea.
Oh, I completely forgot about Morbius. The fact that people convinced Sony to put that back in theaters, I think it's the most
people
amazing
memed it so
thing.
hard that they're like, oh yeah, they want it. So now they were all just too busy or whatever. So that's why they didn't watch Morbius. Not that it was bad or anything, shape or form. We can totally salvage this, guys.
You know what I think is really funny? After that that first time they put it back into theaters, after that failed, people put up a petition called
bring it back again.
We were all just busy that weekend. Put it back.
Yep, put it back. Put it back up. Yep. Yeah, no, but I all I hear is that Madam Web is a fucking disaster, and the villain is entirely ADR. They did not bother to reshoot at all or anything like that. And it is a train wreck of a movie, but apparently it's so bad, it's almost Room-like. Like, it's almost like to the levels of The Room.
I'm still not interested in seeing it.
Oh, absolutely not. Me either. But there was a part of me when I heard that and I went, now that... I used to do like Bad Movie Mondays or something like that with a friend. This would be the perfect movie to start it up again, or at least to watch one bad movie and go, yeah, that was utter shite, but it was like, wow.
It'd make for a fun drinking game, is what you're saying.
It really would. Like every time you see the villain on screen and his lines don't match up with his mouth, you drink. Oh man, I was like. Let's see, Madam. I was curious to see how well it did.
I'm guessing not well.
It says it grossed over $78 million, which worldwide, which I assume is not anywhere close to what they spent on it.
Dude, Dune 2, I'm calling it right now, is going to be $1 billion movie.
Oh, probably.
I'm betting that movie makes $1 billion.
There's definitely enough hype around it. Yeah, so the movie itself people are estimating around 100 million, and with the marketing and everything like that, it was probably likely to be around anywhere from 150 million to 200 million just to break even. And it's currently sitting at 78 million, I think is what I just saw for its like most recent.
Oh yeah, so that's not going to make any more money. No one's going to go see Madam Web after.
No one's going to do that. So.
Do you think they might be like, maybe if Dune 2 sells too well, people will be like, oh, well, I'm already at the theater, but there are literally no seats left for Dune 2. I guess I'll go watch
Let me just go watch Madam Web.
No.
Oh man, there is a little part of me that actually wants to go see just how bad it really is, but then I tell myself that's probably like an hour and a half, like of a time wasted.
I just don't want to give it money.
Like I'll use $1 pass maybe.
That's still too much. I'll go if it's free. Why not?
Hey, here's the thing. I bet you we could talk to Heather and she says, "Hey, can we just real fast, just go into Madam Web?" And she probably would say, yeah, because there's going to be no one in there anyway.
It's empty. Who cares? Just buy like a popcorn or something.
Yeah, just go buy like a large popcorn or something like that deal. Oh man, that'd be so funny if
we go to Dune 2 and it's like, oh well, we still have our large popcorn, large soda. Let's walk in and laugh at this shit movie. Why not?
Oh man. Do you think the Madam Web was going to be what Supergirl was, like if they actually had put it out, like if DC actually put out the Supergirl movie?
You know, it might be, yeah.
Or was it Supergirl or was it Batgirl? I don't remember.
It was Supergirl.
It was? Okay.
No, it was.
I don't even remember
now.
I just Googled the Batgirl movie or whatever, and apparently DC was able to write off the $90 million film as a tax write-off. How the fuck does that make sense?
Is it the Wile E. Coyote one?
No, it's the Batgirl one. Not even like the Wile E. Coyote one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care too. I just don't know how that works. Anyway. It's really funny that a half hour ago we didn't know where the fuck to go, and here we are a half hour later.
Yeah, we just started talking about movies.
That's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I gotta watch Dune. I don't know. Is Evan still planning on going to the movie? I don't know.
I mean, he probably is.
Like, I'm down, but he's gotta, watch the movie before, Friday. Because I think he said Friday night.
Yeah.
Oops.
I'm just saying, it's not too late if you just want to start heading my way now.
How long is that movie?
I think it's like almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah. It's like 8 o'clock right now. I want to be in bed in 2.5 hours.
About 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Another night.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, yeah. Anyway, thank y'all so much for listening or watching to another episode of It Never Ends.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, tell everybody about it, post about it on social media. I don't know. Does anyone do social media anymore? Apparently it's just filled with bots, according to a recent headline I saw from multiple sources, that apparently Twitter is now just filled with a bunch of bots that nobody cares about.
Hey, we were ready to end there, but it never ends.
It's true. It does never truly end. Anyway, be sure to follow my co-host, and I have a bunch of links underneath in the show description or the YouTube description or whatever. Just go follow those. The link to the stream, to the RSS feed for this, to the YouTube page. Doesn't matter. If you want to see our beautiful faces, go to the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. I don't know why you'd want to look at us. We're ugly as fuck. Just kidding.
Speak for yourself, motherfucker. I'm cute as fuck. Do you not think I pull bitches with this fucking Oh Dear Bright Falls t-shirt?
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I apologize. I'm just the ugly one. Anyway.
No, you're... Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week, possibly with a friend of ours.
Maybe. I'll see if I can coordinate with him.
Yep. Find us everywhere podcasts are. Yeah, good night. Here's Onion. Oh.
And Duck Light. Anyway, bye-bye.
Duck Light.